Welcome to Know Before You Go for the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. My name is Father Brendan Curran, and we reflect on this Sunday in a profound rhythm on the journey of life as we read through the scripture readings this day. This week we read these experiences first in the experience of the prophet Jeremiah, the experience of a community scattered all through different areas and communities, living in exile, longing and yearning to return home. And there's a voice of hope, inspiration, calm, and comfort that we read from that first reading. And then in the second reading, we hear about the brother of Moses, remembering Aaron, who supported and backed Moses in order that they could lead their community out of oppression into liberation in the Exodus experience. And then we move into the gospel story where we see and hear and join on the road with a blind man shouting out and professing his faith. I want to see. How do we want to see along the journey of life? All of our readings this Sunday give us a glimpse into that journey, recognizing where we struggle in our difficulties, problems, and conflicts. Let's take a look deeper into the first reading that we'll hear this week. We hear in the prophet Jeremiah calling to remind and inspire those people, broken communities scattered all throughout different areas of communities that are stranger to them, that they will one day come home. God will bring them back as remnants of the faithful community who live in the midst of exile, longing to go home. And Jeremiah reminds them and inspires them, yes, you remnant of Israel, you will one day be joined again, return home, where I will offer you waters of refreshment and where I will invite you and welcome you. Now, one of those aspects that is quite unique is that Jeremiah actually describes a number of different people that have been the broken people and scattered and left to the side folks along the way. He cites and reminds people, yes, the blind and the lame, I will lead home again, reminding us a reflection to consider, first of all, where are we in our own experiences of exile? Where are those experiences where we're caught up in the trappings, maybe of our job, maybe of our situation, maybe of being set in our ways? So many ways we're in exile and need to be plucked out and reminded that we too need to be longing to go home. We too need to be called to go on that journey of faith with Christ, to remember the promise God gives to each of us. And this beautiful portrayal in the first reading also reminds us that it's not just those who have titles or status who are recognized as those who will be called to go home first, but the blind and the lame and the lepers and those let and set and pushed out of society's ways will also be those who will be called to be refreshed in the waters of new life and returning home again. It's a reminder to all of us, signs of hope where God is and where we feel we need to see God in times of our own struggles. Some loved one of yours may be sick or ill. You may be having your difficulties in your own family, struggles with a sibling, reminded that yes, you too are on a journey of faith. Let us nudge ourselves along and remember that God promises us a new life and new day one day. And as we do that, we remember in this second reading a really unusual reading of an experience this Sunday. Because in the letter to the Hebrews, as we remember, all those Christian letters are letters of inspiration, of reminding them that you too can believe and refresh your belief once again in the midst of being a strange kind of folks trying to grasped on to the belief of this Christ that you have heard so much about, and even some have directly witnessed that experience themselves. And in this particular moment, the writer lifts up the image of Aaron as Aaron being a chosen sacred one. Remember, reminding each of us of that role of Aaron that Aaron took in the midst of an oppressed community enslaved in Egypt, where Moses said, I can't speak. I don't have the ability to talk. And so God said, I'm not going to let you be held up or bound by your excuses. I will call your brother Aaron to speak for you and with you. A comforting reminder to us that we too will also have the companions who lift us up in moments on the journey. A beautiful reminder to us leading us into the gospel of this beautiful experience of the proud and clear faith of a person struggling and left to the side of the road. Yes, we see this man, the man named Bartimaeus, a blind man, pleading and just trying to find ways to get a little bit of charity from folks along the road, left and cast aside. And as soon as Bartimaeus hears that Jesus is coming by, he springs to his feet and shouts, Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. And even though some of the followers of Christ were trying to obstruct him and felt that he was an obstruction to Jesus, going on to the next town to teach and to heal, this Bartimaeus insisted on having Jesus help him see. And Jesus asked him directly, what do you ask? And he said, I want to see. Wow. Oh, that each of us could have the faith so clear and distinctly and clear of vision like a blind man, one who does not have sight in our society, has the clarity of sight of his faith. He puts into action and pleads with Christ for an ability to see again. What a powerful reminder for us that ties in all of our readings, but also ties in the challenges of our own journey. Bartimaeus is also a call and a reminder to each of us, where are we blind to our own mission and the peoples around us who we are called to serve and to befriend and to build up community with? Bartimaeus reminds us, how do we need to thirst and recognize how we see? How do we also see where is our faith? When the chips are down, when struggles go our way, when we are having our troubles or challenges, or we have a setback or a loss of a job, where is the faith of inspiration like Bartimaeus for us? And also all through the readings from those remnants and in Israel that are promised to them in the prophet Jeremiah, where are the sacredness of respect for all of these non-people, all of those scattered to the sides of the roads? The promise of Jeremiah was not talking about those elite folks or those folks with title or status. The prophet was speaking about people of leading the blind and the lame to new waters of hope in a promise of returning home one day. Where is the sign of the titled people in the gospel? There aren't those fancy people who are well studied and versed in scripture, or maybe those powerful authorities of government that are the prominent figures of healing and restoration in the gospel. It is a poor, blind, and left to die man pleading with his hand out every single day so that he could find some source of support and sustenance for his own hunger. Who are those people in our society that we cast aside? Who are those blind and lame folks that we label and place our own judgment upon them, or just don't even recognize they are there at all in our lives? As Bartimaeus reminds us, we are blind to even seeing them as human beings, called and sacred, just like each and every one of us. Maybe they don't speak your language. Maybe they don't eat your customs or traditions. Maybe they don't even practice your faith. But I think Jesus is reminding us through a powerful healing story Bartimaeus calling out, shouting out, and insisting, I want to see. Ah, if we can only grasp a bit of that enthusiasm, of power, of clarity, of faith, like this blind man Bartimaeus in our own lives. Ah, let us all long for that voice and shout to the heavens, I want to see.